Here are the top 3 reasons why you are hard stuck diamond. Number 1, you are still playing the fill role. Don't get me wrong, the fill role is a very important role to play, and it is important to have those kind of people on your team because there's a lot of insta-locks. But the issue with the fill role is it makes you an average player on all agents and a master of no agents. Ideally, instead, you want to master 2 or 3 agents and stick to those agents. Insta-lock if you have to, or say I could fill these 2 roles. I would suggest 2 primary agents in one role, and then 1 secondary agent in a different role. So you could ideally get your top mastered agents while playing more than one role, not just being an insta-lock duelist. Too many times I see people fill at the higher ranks and not know how to maximize that agent. Sure, you might be able to play him somewhat. Playing Sova and just shooting your dart somewhere works, but not as good as lineups. Same thing with Fade. Playing Fade is great, throwing her eye is good, but if you have lineups and you could throw it places where it's hard to shoot, or you could hit multiple people at once, then that's going to be much more effective than someone filling on the agent and just throwing the eyeball anywhere. Even more important is when you get into clutch situations and high intensity situations, that's where it really shows if you have mastered the agent or not, because you're going to be reacting really fast. When you don't have time to think about it, you're just going to automatically act. And if you don't know the agent very well, you are not going to use the utility correctly. Number 2, you don't use your utility. I see this so much in the lower ranks. People just don't use their utility. They'll go 1, 2, 3 rounds still having the same utility they bought. One reason for this is people don't use their utility because they think they'll need it later in the round, which doesn't matter anyways if you die early on trying to get in. So just use your utility to get into sight. Another reason is people choose to take gunfights over using utility. Why take a gunfight, which at best is 60-40 if you're the better player, when you could flush him out utility and make them peek into you, making it like a 90-10. But people are so set on taking the gunfight instead and risking too much. Another thing people will do is buy full armor and not full utility. You're better off going half armor and buying all your utility, especially if you're playing Initiator or Smokes. You need all the utility you could get. Number 3, you don't communicate. Now this applies to every rank, but in these ranks specifically, a lot of times you'll run into teammates that don't communicate. Even if you are the only person on the team with a mic, you should still be making callouts. People think, oh, well, no one's talking, so I'm not going to talk. But think about it. Every time you make a callout, you're letting your team know where the enemies are. Even though people aren't giving you callouts, you're giving your team better information, therefore increasing your chances of winning the round.